Back to base you go. Back to base you go.
OG's turn to ban.
Lose together, win together, slay together, slay together, slay together.
Radiant team ban. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
Lion.
Radiant team pick.
Axe.
OG's turn to pick. OG's turn to ban.
Alchemist.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Versus OG here in the upper qualifiers for Western Europe. First game was taken by a Viking. It was a great game, very back and forth. Don't go back to watch the VOD because you gotta watch this second game right now, because according to Peter, you said they're gonna play faster, or rather, they should play faster this time around. OG, that's
it's a very panel thing to say. We're just trying to stay on
Play
point
quick.
here. Yeah, play fast, play hard. Win your lanes, get team fight. Pick stuns, all those
Wave
good
clear.
things. But
The wave clear.
Win.
You forgot the wave clear.
early,
push waves, shove waves.
very early Alchemist pick. This was first pick Axe, right?
Yes.
And then 2-3 Alchemist. And then they got the AA to counter the Alch. And I know
10
OG has been the
seconds
team.
remaining.
Seb plays the offlane Alchemist more often
5
than not,
seconds
right?
remaining.
The factory, yes, they do like that one. Where he just
The
rushes
main
the
thing-
axe for the
OG's turn
The main
to
thing is there
ban.
has been variation, where he's going more like utility, where it's not like straight just ags. It's not like we're seeing like the gyro or the monkey, where it's like throw him the ags, go and play Dodo. It's more like if you're blink, your solo crest, maybe in a pipe, and you're looking at ags, third, fourth item down the line, depending on what kind of the game state is in.
Yeah, so what are the best pairings
seconds
for to
remaining.
give an axe to somebody? I know it used to be like gyro, it used to be
5
bristleback.
seconds remaining.
Void
Are there
Spirit
any
and
other-
Monkey.
Radiant
TA?
team
Monkey's
ban.
still there.
I guess Thompson doesn't play TA, right?
No. What's the tops in heroes right now that we can?
And it's so hard to pick a hero up against Axe and AA. You almost want to have like Tricore, just to be like, we got a lot of stuff. You can't get everybody
10
in the call.
seconds remaining.
We have, of course, a massive change up for OG in terms of their
5
opening.
seconds
Viking does
remaining.
the exact same thing. They ban out the same two heroes. They pick up the same two
OG's
heroes.
turn
Is
to
that
ban.
a clever thing to do, because you know that your opponent's gonna adapt because they just lost? Is it a bit ballsy? Think that they just go for the same thing again?
I don't think so, because they just played it in carry, right? Then they can play it in offlane. There's a lot of flexibility with this style of opening, and they also demonstrated that they
10
have this kind of
seconds
discipline
remaining.
factor. So if they're not changing things, they're making OG change, and that's where
5 seconds
it's easier to
remaining.
kind of know what you're doing and react to your opponent than to also be kind of creating new ideas going into a second game. You're the one game lead. You don't have to be too left field with your second draft.
I think the Axe is just OP at the moment. I feel like it's just too good, and we saw him in the last game. I mean, he didn't even play that well. He missed a ton of calls, but the hero itself is just out of
Radiant
control.
team ban.
So I personally feel like it's just a great opener. OG's opener, the 2-3, I think the Alchemist, it kind of just tells too much. And I feel like this Axe AA is just gonna have a completely free lane. down here bottom. Like Alchemist could even struggle potentially.
And they could still, though, change up that Alchemist and not have it be
10
Seb, right?
seconds remaining.
I mean, it's Seb normally that plays it, has been playing it most throughout the peak season.
5 seconds
But
remaining.
both Sumail and Thompson could take it as well.
It is possible. I oftentimes think that in the 2-3, I think it's really great if you can take like Dragon Knight, for example, is a really popular hero because you can flex him between offlane and mid, and then you save your last pick as the second pick team to decide, okay, like, hey, do I want to pick a new offlaner that can crush the carry that they showed, or do I want to pick, a new mid that's going to be really great for the game? Like, this game is versus AA, but I always think like, oh, this last pick Topson Pugna or last pick Bat Rider or something like that. Like that can just really take over. Can work well.
OG's turn to pick.
I think okay, they go for Lina. The main thing with this Alc, I just want to see it go offlane. You throw down the acid spray, you play your normal game of Dota, and you don't get too kind of carried away with what it becomes. Like, you're playing into AA already, so you don't really want to play out carry, because of course you run up yourself, you're going to get executed by AA blast +1. So also Lion Alchemist is such a strong lane, right? We saw it during DPC when, was it season 1 or season 2 that was popularized? Either way, it's like the idea that, yeah, I think it was 1, right? Like, you throw down the spray, you have this line who pretty much enables any offlaner to play there because you have the double stun. So yeah, I just want to see this be offlane duo already done.
Speaking of season 1 of DPC, Puck makes an appearance. I know we also saw him in season 2. It's been a staple, but it is not really too much out of left field, Peter.
10 seconds
Puck
remaining.
always fits in. You mentioned, of course, Dragon Knight. Do you feel the same about Puck in
5
terms of how he
seconds
fits in this
remaining.
draft?
I think it's really nice to pick your mid hero after you see the 2 supports on the enemy team, and now that they see AA and Lina, they know that both of these heroes don't really have a good way to deal with the puck, and so as long as he dodges the axe call, you should be able to, go this like tread switchblade thing and just have tons of damage and really kind of like scale into the mid to late game. But Dragon Knight's a great pick, and they can put this in the off, like, their lanes are so flexible. This DK Axe is just so meta, right? Like, you can put these heroes in. I mean, Axe isn't going to go mid, but DK could go mid, DK could go safe lane, DK could go off lane, Axe can go off lane or safe lane. They'll just have to decide based on what they see here, which is OG's 18 pick. Oh, sorry, we actually had the picks the completely
pick order,
wrong, by the way. So it was Lion first, and then they
when they said it,
out.
I was checking the bands, like, oh, this is wrong. I'll wait for him to stop, and then I'll throw it in. But yeah, it's
I didn't
Viking
notice
with last pick.
until second phase. So they actually picked the Alchemist into Axe AA, which we'll see how it goes. But I mean, personally, I think AA is obviously a counter to Alchemist, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
that's
a confident Alchemist.
That's why I think, like, in regards to offlane, like, I don't think these counters matter too much, because the idea of the hero is still, you're going to be the one tanking up the AA blast, opening up the game for everyone else. You're still playing your kind of farm war, so I think that's where they don't really care too much about it, and they go for the Medusa,
10 seconds
which
remaining.
I guess with the nerfs to the hero could become a good Axe buy, because now you can rely more on farming your Manta, your Butterfly +1, rather than going to Axe yourself. That could be an option, like second, third item Axe, but very hypothetical kind of strat right now.
Yeah, maybe you do. I don't know. Alchemist is such a wild card hero for me. I feel like, can you play this hero as support? I'm not sure.
All right, I did play it. I'm not going to do a Brian here. I'm not going to talk about my pubs, but technically speaking, no. With OG, it should just be the offlane. Let's not get carried away.
All right. So then they're looking for maybe a no-tail hero last, or who knows what, but I think Viking GG is in a great spot right now because they have an opportunity to last pick like a new offlaner that's really good against Medusa. I see Darkseer. I know it doesn't work that great with the Lina, but it could be, it's just really, really good versus Dusa in the game. Any other offlaners you like against Dusa? And they can always just do Dragon Knight Lina top. Dragon Knight can go early movement speed items to close the gap between him and Dusa, get those dragon tails off.
10 seconds
Dusa's kind of a slow hero, so that could work.
I kind of like the idea of
5 seconds.
Realistically, you need the Axe to be your offlaner, I think, in this situation, right? Because Axe carrying to Medusa doesn't feel that great. So I'd actually argue they need to pick a better carry.
Why is that?
Because I feel like during the major, teams would often be, well, one, be banning out Medusa when they had the Axe, and also when Axe jumps onto the Medusa, he doesn't 100 to 0 her. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've not seen that occur yet. So I feel like Medusa eventually becomes too tanky for a carry Axe to deal with. unless
like-
you have the supporting cast with you.
I feel like because Axe does pure damage, I feel like he doesn't care about the armor of Medusa, and I feel like he will like actually just maybe not 100 to 0, but like
Yeah.
with the AA blast with Lina follow up, like yeah, it might be enough.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, you know what? I kind of want to see the Axe character because I haven't seen it yet, but maybe into Medusa it has like an earlier timing to play for.
Well, we have OG
Yeah.
with their bans kind of spreading their odds. They still ban out the
turn to pick.
Brood Mother, but they also removed the Drone Ranger just in case there was still going to be a different hero for Shad coming out, with the Undying and the Abaddon removed for Viking, which are typical no-teal heroes.
Hold on, I have a 5-head drafting thing
Okay.
here.
Okay.
This is you do Lina
10
mid,
seconds
DK4, and you get the last pick Darkseer, and then you're running DK Darkseer in the offlane.
5 seconds.
DK4
right.
though.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's
Okay.
not. It's
Sounds
not
good.
ideal, but I mean,
All
it's
right, but
fine.
let's be honest. So how many DK offlanes soon become supports because they do one too many bad blinks? I like it. You know,
It's
I'm not opposed
it's,
to it.
It's not bad, and yeah, he just needs to be useful in the lane because the Darkseer, like this hero destroys Medusa, as I see it. So like you can just completely like Darkseer plus
Radiant
Axe as
team
well
pick.
could be a nice combo. And I
they
know
go for this one.
Keizu does like the Darkseer as well. So.
He does. And we got Clockwork coming out for OG, and I think a lot of people will be remembering Saxa's Clockwork during the DPC, absolutely carrying his
10
team to
seconds
victory
remaining.
during the season. So looking forward to seeing that, because that level of play, I mean,
5
Aramis
seconds
obviously played a
remaining.
really good clock in the previous game, but now the shoe's on the other foot. And look do with that. It's, we know
Are you sure it's
he's got
not?
the
Sure it's
skills.
not? Are you sure it's not
Probably
no-tail?
5. Yeah, it's probably 5. Well,
Are
yeah,
you sure
maybe
it's
play
not?
it.
I mean, it's Saxa clock. How could you deny him the clock?
But you need the lanes, Shiva. You need the melee hero to body for the range carry.
It depends on
Medusa.
your
well, they
team,
can
right?
they can
Certain-
switch
certain-
up.
Yeah, certain teams will swap their lanes, other teams won't. I haven't
Sure.
seen no-tail play in the offlane very often.
That's
if,
true.
Like ever. So,
That's true.
but you're right. Like Saxa does play an amazing Clockwork. It is kind of a signature hero for him and OG's team. Like they always succeed well when Saxa's on this hero. So, yeah, maybe it is a good idea just for Saxa to play the Clockwork in the safe lane with the Medusa. They could also just do like Lion Medusa safe lane and run the Clock Axe off lane and Clock pulls waves, but that sounds very inferior.
Yeah, you
Clock
kind of
out.
like with the Alk, you need the with the Alk, you need to have that hero to bully with the acid spray. So I think right
Yeah.
now the lanes are kind of set, right? Clocks with Medusa, Puck mid, Alk blind. That's why Viking right now.
You may now
Ooh,
select
they go
your
for a
heroes.
Kezu. Ooh, oh Venom
What do they do?
answer.
Venomancer.
Hey,
okay.
Venom, yeah. 2 games in a row, their last pick just makes me go, ugh, you know? Ugh, I don't
Well,
know.
It's
good, but-
it's not too bad against Puck, right? And it's okay. You know, they have relatively slow heroes in Alchemist and Dusa, so even more slow can be nice. We'll see if he's able to establish like an area of the map and claim it as his. But Clockwork and Puck are pretty all right versus Venomancer, I would say in the
It
game.
is a DK position for Peter, so you were right with that one.
Holy.
It is also a
Damn.
Saxa Lion, so you were also right with that one with no-till still going on to the Clockwork.
Should have picked Darkseer
10
instead though.
seconds remaining.
If you're
not a
gonna
dark,
if you're
yeah.
gonna put the DK on the position 4 anyway, you know, maybe
5
maybe you might
seconds
as well.
remaining.
But quick thoughts on who you guys are gonna think is gonna take T.
I'll go with OG just because I'm not too happy with the idea of Axe into Medusa carry, and I think that Veno might have a great time playing aggressive and like owning jungle like Brood, but it doesn't have the same effect as a Brood. It's not going to like have consistent presence within the game. So yeah, I think OG is going to eventually get this win on their side.
Yeah, I'm gonna be watching the mid lane, Top Sun versus Boom. This Lina Puck matchup can go both ways. If there's good rotations from OG, Lina can feed. Puck can kind of struggle if he's left alone to play versus Lina. But I like OG. I think they have more playmaking opportunities, and I think Top Sun can have a really, really impactful game on Puck with the DK being shifted to position 4.
And are they gonna play faster than previous game?
No, I don't think so. I think they're gonna hang out and chill. They've got Dusa and Alchemist, so they're happy to go late, and we'll have another brawl back and forth most likely, which is what everybody wants to see anyway.
I definitely want to see that, and
I'm
I
down.
know everybody in chat wants to see that, and I know our commentary team would love to see that too. It's Odie Pixel and Fog. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Sheila, and a big welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2. I'm sure you're all still here after that Game 1 extravaganza between the two of them. Viking, of course, able to come out on top at the end of the day. What do you make of what we're seeing from this this second game? A bit of a switch up, you know, very much OG, as Peter said, sort of stepping into a bit of a different realm when it comes to the timings they'll be hitting. This Deucer, this Alchemist coming out, and Viking, the curveball that PPD did predict coming out. Aramis on the support DK. I mean, is this something you've been seeing? Is this strong? Where does the strength lie in this? And is this something Viking planned as soon as it was picked, or is this a response to what OG came out instead?
I think they probably just started deviating, started just like, you start adjusting quickly based off what you see inside the draft. I think this is something people have been theory crafting for a while, ever since the DK got buffed, the Dragon Tail at level 1, just how much stronger it is. So I'm glad they went for it. I liked Peter's suggestion a bit better, though. I did like the Darkseer, especially because it's Kezu's hero. It's Aura Buyer, which is always good versus like your Puck and stuff like that. And of course, your versus Dusa. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do as the Veno. I feel like it's similar style of Aura buying and like claiming an area and controlling, but I feel like Darkseer just, it gets to that, you scale. You're going to scale infinitely because Deuce is going to scale infinitely, but this is the approach they went for. And we'll see if it does end up working with the 4-position DK, because the other thing is too, I think that's where it makes the puck a lot better, because sure, looks like a little bit of a, like not a hard puck game, but an annoying one when you're playing versus DK, but now that it's a 4-position, I feel like you just open up opportunity for Thompson to kind of pop off in the game.
Around this rune already, OG on the high ground. To catch out Viking, but not going to be the case. Viking caught underneath the trap here of OG. Lanes takes place. Once again, Shad and Celery starting down on bottom half of the Axe AA combo. Would imagine No-Tail is going to head up to the top lane pretty shortly.
Yeah.
It's a bit of harassment here onto Celery as two of them make it to the lane.
Look at all the wards too placed down. 4 kind of wards placed out from OG in the bottom side. Just checking high ground to see if the lane, they're going to do some type of like lane dodging, I think, is that what they're trying to scout out here. And then also just blocking off camps that we know will probably get stacked up from either the A or Lina. Let's see how Shad does bottom. This time he does buy that ring of protection that we did mention about him missing the last game for the lane. He needs it versus Acid Spray because he's down to that negative if he doesn't have it. So now he's at 0 when he's under Acid Spray with the ring of protection.
And when it comes to what he's facing, you think in this game, Axe against Lion and Alk, it's not quite as threatening for the Axe as the Lina Magnus was last game?
Not as threatening in lane, no. I think that Chad should be able to get quite a bit more farm out. No, because they can actually harass properly versus like the Lion. You just hunger the Lion and then the AA is able to harass. And now it's 6-7 is just a walking aspect, which you can avoid. You can step out of. You know, shockwaves and these constant spams from Light Striker Race, quite a bit different.
To the mid lane, PPD said he's going to have his eyes on this matchup.
Yes.
The Lina Puck can go both ways. Boom versus Thompson. I mean, what do you expect out of this? Do you sort of pit either of these as the favorite to win in this matchup?
Lately, I've been liking the Linas a lot more. It's just so easy to play. Sure, Puck is easy to play, but Lina just plays itself. Like Puck, you have to do some kind of like skilled kind of dodges and stuff like that. Lina, you just click the nuke on the wave. You keep your Fiery Soul up. It kind of does itself. So I like the Lina quite a bit more. And it really is up to the 4-position rotations. So I think that OG does have the better rotation though. So that's where Boom could get caught off guard.
Hold up. Well, this might just be the first blood. 7 Saxa.
Got him.
Be able to find it. Celery caught out and stun, holding him inside of the Acid Spray. The punch is coming hard.
Okay, that does mean they skill the Hex. So it does mean that Sox is going to have much less mana to work with to constantly harass the Axe because of that, but they do get a kill anyway. But yeah, usually you do see the point in mana drain at level 2 because you use your whole mana pool otherwise, and you just can't do anything in lane. You're just auto attacks.
And when you see this sort of setup as well, I remember Martin Seb, as the offlane the Alchemist will be, of course, building items for himself, but are we going to see any sort of shift towards an early Axe for any of his other cores or even supports this game?
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's got 2 really valuable ones. He's got the Puck and the Medusa, so definitely super value. Maybe wants to get like 1 or 2 of his starting items first, maybe like a pipe or something like that. I've seen him usually go for the hood early, but yeah, I think it's just too valuable to not do it. Because then you can like force those fights around Roche that we used to see OG do when they did like the Monkey King Alchemist. You know, you get that timing and you just go Roshan, and then you have a Medusa with like 3 items or a carry with 3 items and a Roshan.
Yeah, and we sort of had it discussed on the panel, but what's your sort of take when it comes to sort of the Axe carry versus the Deucer carry? Now, do you imagine, you know, for the Axe, once Shad does have the Manta, the blink and the shard, the means to get on top of the Deucer and do damage. Is it going to be threatening Sumail, or at that point of the game, should the Deucer be at a stage where Sumail doesn't care too much about the initial burst that Viking will throw at him?
I think the pure damage might be decent. The one thing that changes my tide instantly is there's a lion in the game. So if he does pop the Manta, there's just like, you can just mana drain, and then the whole entire, like most of the aggression that comes up from the Axe Manta, it just dies instantly. Those two illusions just instantly die when the lion does get the shard online, which we know Sox is going to do eventually. So I think it's an easier game for OG, for the Medusa to carry.
Sure. Like, you do see this as two drafts that, at a certain point, Sumail's had a good game. It was Restore's last match. He keeps himself at the top of the net worth. This Deucer could be the be-all, end-all in this.
Absolutely. I don't know what the Venomancer and DK are supposed to do to slow her down, really. Because he's got a Clockwork behind him as this Medusa, so you've got, like, no threat, really. The DK shouldn't, in theory, be able to get up to you and get a stun and get all like, these Veno Gales. You should be able to just get your free farm on Medusa and then get stacks. So, yeah, it looks like a pretty good game for Sumail, I'd say.
So far, lane-wise, really losing out too much. This is that mid lane where Boom has about a wave or two edge actually on the CS of Topson. So definitely coming out of top so far, the 1v1. We'll hit that probably a little bit quicker than that of Topson. It leaves them any chance to get aggressive. Two of them, I guess when it comes to catch for Topson, it is going to be a little tricky. Topson not having too many threats that he's going to have to jump about in the team fights.
Thompson did steal away a bounty rune, though, so he might be 8 last hits behind, but he did steal the one on the left side from Boom. About to be 6, but Boom gets the 6 first, and Thompson gets hit by the stun.
He does. We'll get the silence off onto Boom, but Thompson, he's got to be careful. Jaunting, not too far away, that he's still underneath that light strike array. We'll see up top, no tail. Trying to get him with the chase down on Kezu, but a Dragon Tail stun from Aramis will hold back the clock. Try and turn it. The snake bounce is not going to quite clip onto Kezu, so Kezu will be fine.
You know what's wild is Boom put an extra point in stun when Thompson was coming in, because he's like, no, he's gonna make this mistake. If he had Laguna, like, he potentially gets the kill on the puck there.
Yeah, for sure. I think we would have seen him sort of posture aggressively and try and chase Thompson back up to the high ground. No doubt about it.
And we're still seeing Shad get off to a slow start anyway. Not as slow as the first game, but yeah, still getting slowed down from that Alkin line. And we are already seeing the move from Celery, heads up to top. They've got the stack started. And they're going to do the same strategy they did in the first game. Leave Shad alone, and then just look to pressure the carry, the Sumail.
Thanks.
You see Saksa taking opportunity, though, since he sees bottom, they've moved. He makes the way toward mid.
TP's coming in. Got enough burst to take down Boom underneath the tower. They don't. It's going to be more than okay here with the backup from Aramis coming in and stopping OG throwing anything else onto Boom.
A little worried for him. I don't think he had a raindrop on him either. I thought perhaps he could get burst down, but holding his ground nicely. Good TP from Aramis, and they continue to stack. And Chad continues to get that farm. We do see, I think, the stacks starting from OG pretty soon. I'm actually not seeing stacks from OG just yet. I was going to say, I hope that they do have some stacks with this Alchemist anyway. Even though he's having such a good time bottom, you always want that extra enabling factor. So we do see Aramis starting to get some scouting. Walks in with his Tranquil Boots as the DK, gets a deep ward down. Was spotted by OG, though. But they'll keep habits on those.
We're over to deal with those.
It's so good on oh, he doesn't do the pull in between. Okay, maybe waiting for his level 6, but I was gonna say it's so good on Dire because you can pull those two camps that we're seeing. Thompson, talk about it afterwards.
No tell. I've caught him here. Aramis able to close the gap. Set up with the Dragon Tail, and at these stages of the game, these three heroes, a lot of magical damage to be dealt.
Yeah,
you will very likely die if you're anything other than a core against these three. It's Kezu. It's getting to the point where the level's starting to rack up on the Plague Wars. This area of the map is it's not going to be a place that OG really want to head over to.
Yeah, and it is going to be first item, Aghanims, actually, for Seb. So not even going for a hood early on. He's just going straight forward for the Deuce. He does have two really good heroes for Aghanims, the Puck and the Deuce, so... Okay.
Heck, he's got 4. Sure, no tell.
He does.
Especially Saxa. He wants to come out with the big old fingers.
Oh, and let's be honest, they never give the supports any Aghs. I've seen these offlane Alchemists so they give out 2 and then they never give out another one.
And that's it. It was about 4 on Saxon.
But it definitely is 4 good Ags in this game. And we're seeing gold lead already, 2K for OG, just like last game, getting a little bit more out of the map.
I guess it is to be expected a bit when you do have a core out.
Absolutely.
So to some point with these stacks.
Here comes the tops in rotation.
Oh, drop down onto Boom. He looks to break the coil, and with the remainder of the haste ring, Boom's going to be fine. In fact, the Dragon Tail's done. They're able to turn and blow up Thompson. Thompson getting taken out there as Viking. They're looking to try and set up for more. Boom, heading over towards Samel. Stun won't quite catch on to the Medusa. No tail being pushed out to the side here by the damage over time from Kezu. Samel pretty low underneath his tower. Boom, popping the mangoes, but a little low on that HP, so doesn't want to quite get in with the dive underneath the tier 1. Samel will be okay for now, but Viking quick to seize the opportunity to turn there, and smart moves from Boom, just instantly knowing that the best play was to put that haste, break that coil, so he had the ability to turn and blow up Thompson as Thompson tried to jump in to finish off the kill.
Yeah, that was very heads up. The same thing I was going to talk about just now is because he knows that Clockwork's not 6, Lion wasn't in the area. There's no one else who can get on top of him. As soon as he gets out that far, that distance, he's good to reset and go back in. So very nice play there from Viking. It was a good TP. It was a good idea from OG to defend with Thompson, but yeah, losing him. But they will defend the tower, and Sumail, he doesn't actually have to leave the area just yet. Say that, but now gets the stun. He's low mana.
Low on mana, yeah.
Radiant's courier.
Gonna be all right. We'll actually get the courier of Aramis and Sumail. He's out with the TP. Doesn't want to mess around in this area any longer than he needs to now.
Seeing the stacks coming out. Sox is starting to get these double stacks, but look at Shad. He has monstrous stacks in comparison.
What Shad was able to do when he sort of got the time to sneak away into the jungle, clean up the stacks in game 1. He became massive on the axe, and so far the trajectory is pretty much the same here for him in this game 2.
Yeah, looking quite similar for sure. Sab, I believe his Aghanims is about to be finished up. 350 more gold. They'll see what they can do with it. It's Viking starting to get that push started top quite a lot here. Kezu starting to lay down those wards. Catapult coming in. Aramis not quite 6, but they're swinging Shad over too.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Going down within the next few seconds, and No Tail knows it. No looking to hold on to it. In fact, already Kezu moving away from the top.
They're setting up for mid too.
And
they still have their siege creep.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
And they're playing it speedy. They're against this out. They're against this Medusa. Viking making sure that they really do keep the pressure onto OG.
And they should,
especially in a game where Seb has gone for the straight axe first. They know that this hero, on his own, Seb, he's going to be very vulnerable if any action does kick off. He's going to have nothing to protect himself.
Now.
He's pretty hard countered in the game anyway, right? He is versus that AA, he is versus Venomancer, he's versus Axe. It's so many different lethal damage points that would kill the Alk anyway, so. He does have the Axe finished, and they did scout it. Kezu was right in front of him in the mid lane. Kezu nearly has his Spirit Vessel done too, so lots of different damage, and there it is. So Sumail, free Axe given, Dragonlance too, and top of that network.
It is a good bit of boost to the tank ability of Sumail. Already 11 distinct HP, 1200 mana.
Radiant's bottom
He's not going to die instantly in the fights, even if they do get a jump on it. He will have the chance to react.
And it really is just so early to have an action.
So,
Dire's middle tower.
Kezu, but quite with any. He did have a mango, but not wanting to pop it initially to try and push Kezu back. They dropped the Lagoon onto No Tail. He's actually going to end up going down. Boom has the reach.
Another one.
Take him down, and now to set him on a Seb. The Ice Blast coming in as well, Seb. He's got back, but in fact with the finger at Saxon, they're able to blow up Aramis. Seb will end up still going down. Green Cold will be dropped there, but Viking, they're able to step out straight to the side. Thompson, he's caught by the stun. He punches in from Boom. So looking to scout up to the high ground here, but Thompson won't jaunt forward aggressively. It's Viking, sure they lose Aramis, but they get 2 heroes for it. Taking the favorable trade here, Viking around the mid lane.
And Shad is just chilling top. That was a 4v5 fight that Viking was doing, and they do come out ahead of it anyway. Plus having the Axe farming on the other side of the map, so perfect move there from Viking. And I feel like that's how we'll see Seb. That's gonna be Seb 90% of this game, I feel. Just getting completely deleted by AA Blast every single time. So looks like he's queuing up Force Staff, just trying to reposition people to get out of those blasts. I think it'll be a pretty nice choice.
Silence.
Playing for time and space for Sumail. Very much looking to put this game on the shoulders of the Medusa. get everything they can to buff up and protect him at all costs. Make sure that any jump, any fight the Viking try and enter into Sumail will survive through the initial onslaught. And will be able to eventually turn and take down the remaining members of Viking after they make the jump.
He's got his work cut out for him, though. It really is just going to feel like they only effectively have 3 heroes on the side of OG, right? Like, the way that's going to start coming down quickly, Viking is going to scale on 3 heroes quite nicely. OG, they're only going to really scale on like 1 or 2. We'll see what they're going to be able to do with this big Medusa if they're going to be able to rally around Sumail.
Chad, start pretty much done. Considering that how game 1 went, I think this is even quicker than game 1.
I think so, yeah.
Just getting that little bit more space and stack preparation for
No tail.
on the river. It's going to set up for the coil to come in, but the ice bar in return straight down onto No-Tail. No-Tail will fall. Boom, able to get the Laguna off before he dies. So Thompson ticked out pretty low into the Battle Hunger. And the damage from the vessel. The Stone Gaze comes out, but Kezu's able to turn over to the side. Good body blocks here for the illusions of No-Tail. Will stop Kezu from being able to escape. 2 for 2 though. Viking, they may lose the 2 cores, but are able to bring down Thompson with it.
And this time it's big for OG, where sure, they lose Thompson, but in the meanwhile, Soxa is just farming top, has finished up a Blink Dagger, and No-Tail with that aggressive hook shot does end up really nicely. 2 cores for the 1.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Miss the Elder Dragon form here to put pressure onto mid. Not quite wanting to set up on him yet. Those hook shot back up in a few seconds, as well as the finger. So first potential is once again online here for OG if they see he's a chance mid.
Vikings gotta be sure to be getting quite a bit out of the map. If they are gonna be looking to go for these pushes mid, and they are gonna be like kind of losing even like 2 heroes, they have to get so much more out of the map. Because you know, like we said, you're only playing versus really like 3 OG heroes. If you're losing fights at this point, it's gonna get scary when this Medusa does get big. So I like what Shad's doing. He's still looking to play his own game, just splitting up the map, sending the illusions out to cut waves. Same thing for Kezu, still trying to get as much farm as possible. Seeing Aramis even trying to find farm. They do lack a bit of that catch for the puck, as we see. If he jumps in, sure, they've got the Dragon Tail from Aramis, but yeah, he's trying to get his own Blink Dagger too, because he's super poor. 2,800 net worth to the 4,400 of the Lion, and Sox has got Blink already done, so.
I guess this is one of the things about the support DK, that if things do start to slow down, the action's not there, you're not going to have an easy time really picking up the farm, grabbing the goal.
No.
To keep up with the rest of the game, really.
No, you're never really gonna level your breathe fire much as these 4-position DKs, unless you have some like outrageous start where you're super over leveled. This is this build you're gonna have. So you don't have a farming mechanic. You're just a stun and you're just kind of tanky. You're just a damage reduction with your breathe fire inside team fight, so you throw that onto the Medusa. A lot slower of a game though. 6-4, 16 minutes. I think last game we had like 11-11 around like the 20-something minute mark, but kind of expected when we had this Alchemist Medusa draft.
As you say, as the moments pass, Viking definitely going to be feeling the pressure more and more. Manta done. We're seeing this Medusa, slowly progress and stay far ahead of anyone else in the game. Shad's going to have to hit something big here once he gets the Blink and Shard done. And the Blink Dagger nearly is there for the axe. It's all just going to be a test for Viking. Are they going to hit this timing where they can bring a fight to Sumail before Sumail's prepared for it mid? Catch on to Aramis. Sumail joining forces here with the rest of them. Fingers out from Saxa, and that's Aramis down. It's definitely proving to have a bit of a tough time to just find the space to achieve much at all right now. Saxa on the support DK, and now the dive here from Thompson. The coil onto Kezu, and boom, No-Tail. Trying to step up. No-Tail, of course, still on caught up for 30 seconds, and looks like No-Tail's going to get baited in a little bit there by Thompson's Stream Coil. Ends up stepping under the tier 1 tower, and Viking easily dispatch of him.
Poor No-Tail. He gets baited by Thompson a lot.
He does.
I just gotta say it. Like that, we saw it last game happen like 3 times where he's like, Thompson, I got your back, and then he just dies. Continue to get those stacks going. They force all of Viking toward the mid lane with that push. Even though they lose No-Tail, they get the map, all focused there. And Sumail will continue to get that farm.
The jungle has
Seth works on some more stacks, and he is going to go for pipe after having this force Seth done, so He's still getting quite a lot of growth.
Yeah, he's not necessarily going to pull over straight away after the ice blast next to the middle of the team fight. Talk about team fights kicking off right now over to the mid. They get the jump in onto Celery. Over towards Aramis as well. Aramis trying to get away here. The right clicks from Samels along with the snake. It's enough. 2 quick kills here for OG, and now looking for more. Saxa looks for the hex shots, trying to come over the counter play, get the call off onto Saxa. Samel's charging him with the stone gaze. Boom having to put the BKB to get out to the side. Thompson jumping in. He's actually going to jump into his death. Boom's able to turn with a right click, take him out. Shad's still alive, forcing back Saxa with the battle hunger. Saxa trying to hide in the trees. Shad, can he quite find him? Force off to the side. Saxa, he'll break himself away, but Shad's able to get in with the battle hunger again. Burns down Saxa.
They're respawning.
He might not be done yet. Maybe looking for the opportunity to jump for more. He's going to have the blink up in a few seconds. He's not going to chase up to the high ground. So Mel and Seb will make it away. Shad turning up for sort of the first bit of action that he's been able to get involved in. And we'll be able to have a solid kickback there against OG.
They got out with their cores, right? Yeah, Boom got away as well as... Yeah, that actually ended up being pretty damn good for Viking. Yeah. Keep the tower alive. They keep the cores alive too. Yeah, that ends up working out nicely. And Kezu gets the last touch. I think actually Boom got the last touch onto Thompson too. So
did Thompson. I mean, he really wanted to get Boom. Boom was so low.
He's so
Thompson
aggressive.
Jumping in for that. You know, he very much was playing for the play. I mean, he knew he was dead. He was going to die going in that aggressive, but of course was hoping to try and bring down Boom with him. Wasn't to be the case. Yeah, Boom able to just break his way around the tree line. Can't quite find the last hit. Boom, he can.
And this is all pre-shard, right? That's the important thing that I look at least for Shad, is
that's true.
He's about to have it now in the next 2 seconds. He's about to have that picked up, so his damage is going to skyrocket in the next few fights. And we also do see Kezu. He's got the pipe done, so that'll help a lot versus this Puck's damage. But on the other side too, we do see Seb. He also has the pipe too.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Things said and done with the lead that OG have net worth wise, and most of that being just the net worth that Seb's been able to farm up that axe across to Samael. Shad's game so far, there's not really been any hiccups for him.
No.
Progression has the axe. He's gone pretty much as planned here for Vikings so far in this game too.
And I think we will excitingly get to actually see that matchup play in, right? The Axe versus Medusa, when they do both get this space to farm up, how the Axe is going to be able to deal with it. It is a Medusa who's jacked up, of course, from a free Aghanims, but yeah, either way. And this time we don't have Shad with any type of buff himself, right? We did have the Alacrity last game, where he was getting that Thronheim Tomb for the crazy spin potential with the counter helix, so doesn't have anything
Radiant's
this time
middle
around.
tower is
As OG? Fine Celery.
Well, they found the AA. And now hope for the AA here, and in fact, no.
Hook shot.
Let's try and set up for more Boom. Could be pushed back, but the BKB's out. They'll turn. Now they'll look for the jump for Shad. They'll get him with control onto No-Tail. Laguna's down. No-Tail will fall. They weren't quite able to chain stun Boom there. Saxon was around. I guess was just unable to get the Hex or the stun off in time after the Cog pushback.
Yeah, I actually didn't get this click on him in time if it was on cooldown or something from like the move, but yeah, couldn't get it in time. And at least it's a BKB used, so it's, you know, one more instance of tick down for just a 5-position clockwork. That's what No-Tail will tell you.
At least I suppose. Mr. Mail, Butterfly, pretty much done.
He's still huge.
Gold and the talisman's there. I mean, it is going to really come down to how much of effect they have against the Medusa in the fights. Obviously, that evasion's going to be something here. Well, Chad does get the jump on him.
He is going to hit really hard, too. He's not going for the Scotty, but he's going for straight right-click mid.
He steps into the trap here. Saxa and Thompson, they're ready and waiting. Hook shot over the one. Boom, BKB still on cooldown for 10 seconds. They'll get the poison over off. Boom. Moving speed in the back of the Celery. He's going to turn with the Laguna onto No-Tail. No-Tail getting right down by Boom. Thompson turns towards here. Saxa. Heavy damage here from the right clicks of Celery. Celery will die here to the turnaround from Samat. Still have to be so careful how close they get to Samat. I say that though, Aramis, he's going to jump in aggressively with Dragon Tail onto Samat. Wants to get in onto this Medusa Shad. He's looking for the blink capability onto Puck, but Puck won't be able to find him. Thompson's able to phase in time. The core won't grab him. Samat popping the stone gaze to deter the rest of Viking from pushing the fight any further as OG will back off. Saxa does expend a buyback for this.
Yeah, he looks like he thought they were going to go on him, but they were actually completely out of mana, so a bit of a wasted one there from the Lion.
Middle tower is under attack.
Crazy fight. Thompson dropping low a couple times there. Kezu getting his ult off is what makes him have to stop kind of going for these aggressive moves. He drops like super. If he gets hit by the AA blast, he was dead on Thompson. He just missed him. Still very close, but definitely seeing Sumail just be the absolute beast this game. Butterfly is done. He's got the talent now too, so he's hit 20. That free ags. And he's just that much tankier now. Up top.
Top lane. Aramis. Doesn't look like he has many routes of escape. Trapped in the cogs.
His team's
in
coming.
the acid spray. They do have the blast coming in. I mean, Concoction that is certainly taking their time to bring down Aramis, and with the backup of Boom, they're actually not going to be able to do so. Aramis, this DK support, tanky enough to walk away from the two of them. They don't even really get that close at all to taking them out. Thompson jumps in. Orb out the side, does have a Dream Call available. He's going to use it to hold back Shad as OG. They're backing up Sumail. He's not quite close enough to get involved in this fight. He's starting to make his way over, but already No-Tail's been taken out. Seb will try and turn and throw. But it adds him to the Alchemist. They've caught Seb. Seb getting gunned down by Shad. Boom pops the BKB. Thompson having to jump out into the trees. He's having to hide. This is not a fight that OG want to take any sort of part in anymore now, with two heroes already being taken down.
Aramis is just a bit too tanky. The double fluffy hats.
Yeah.
And, you know, his max dragon blood. They couldn't bring him down before the team got there.
Certainly shown his worth, even with the sort of slowdown in farm he did have at the beginning of the game. And at this point, he's now on par with that of Saxo, so covering rather nicely with the way he's been able to survive in these engagements. And
he's gone for his own greed. He's gone the Fireball, Owen. He doesn't go for any Force Staff, no funny business to buff up his teammates or anything. Nope, he goes for Fireball.
I mean, I like it. I like it. It's going to be great for sort of the scaling, you know, allowing him to farm, push out waves and such. And he's also playing against some of these heroes. Well, the big one, right? There's Dusu. It's going to be fairly static in the team fights. Good control. Dragon Tail is the stuns, the Lina, and the AA. A lot of damage will be done over the duration of this Fireball laying on the ground.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know what else he would have bought for his own greedy build to make himself continue growing. So yeah, this is going to be great for always for this split push constantly too, because now, of course, you don't have to be inside of your DK farm to use it. So look at bottom. He clears out the wave very quickly. So yeah, that's cool. Sure. And we do see the switch up this time. Shad, he doesn't go for the threshold. He goes for the HP regen. Guess he's feeling that these longer drawn-out fights this time will be a bit better for them, since they do have the Veno. And it does look like we do have another Ags about to be done. So Seb, that next one will go on to the puck. So Thompson, jump up toward the top of that net worth very quickly. And those BKBs, the Lina as well as the Axe, that'll make it quite a bit more troublesome for them when the Clockwork gets on top of them.
Yeah, you like to switch up from Sumail as well, going for the Swift Blink rather than the earlier queued up Skadi?
I guess it's just so that he can like get in front of the Axe at all times, so he can always get the Stone Gaze off. Maybe he doesn't feel like he's gonna die. I feel like the Skadi's just the safer route. This is a lot more risky.
And maybe feeling as well that he can sort of outplay some of these jumps from Viking. Yeah, that blink off dodge that he attempted, maybe jump call from the Axe. Not gonna be easy.
It feels so much safer and better just to go for the Skadi, to be honest, because he has the puck Ags too. They can hold him in place, but yeah, I don't know. Because it also lowers the heal reduction. It's good for piercing the BKBs to slow them down, but hey, if Sumail wants to go for a Swift Blink, sure, why not?
It's definitely the flashier of the two.
top tower
Sure.
is under attack.
And so, you know, Sumail, I think he's definitely going to be feeling the lead that he has. He knows that he is very strong right now in this game. This is Medusa level 22.
Radiant's top
The
tower
items that he
is
has,
under
he's
attack.
incredibly
Radiant's top
stacked.
tower
So
has
just going
fallen.
full in on his ability to
Dire's bottom
just
tower
frontline these
is under
fights as it
attack.
is,
And he
having
needs
the
to just-
damage with this Agi to take down the heroes of the game.
He does need to just not get avoided either. I think that's the biggest thing, is that they're just going to try to kite him with the Veno wards and all that, slowing him and resetting away from him. He has bought the ulti orb, so I think he might just be baiting you with the Swift Blink a little bit there. But
Yeah, it looks like, it just had it for the blink pick up, and then about the start. With that orb pick up.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
they flash the scout. They're going to start it.
Sure, Viking will want to have something to say about this. Shad is available to head over and Ice Blast alone. Enough to make OG think twice about how much they want to commit for this. Smoke up from OG.
Kezu's gone for a Vanguard instead of... I thought he was going to go for Halberd this game because he's versus Medusa, but he's going for Crimson Guard rather than Halberd. It's been interesting. Sumail's
In
in.
with the blink. Ready to start off the action straight away on a Kezu. They're able to burst him with the finger. Kezu's gone. Quick jump up to the high ground. Catches Kezu off guard.
That should be enough for the Roche. I don't think they can contest without the Veno.
to be. Shad not having any interest in charging over and looking for any crazy players. For him as the position one, he can't take those risks. We'll just continue to try and keep the waves pushed out with the illusions. That will give OG a chance to claim that Roche. Aegis picked up by Thompson.
They don't even give it to Sumail. He's feeling pretty immortal. 2400 HP, 2144 mana, almost 25 as well. He's 23. And there's the Scott he picked up too. So
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He is, and he's got the sliver too, right? So magic resist as well as that status resist on top.
Oh, yeah.
And he's hitting hard. He is.
Oh, he is.
No joke.
See how much OG want to push it here with the benefit of the Aegis on Thompson.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Either way, as we say, the scalability of Sumail's due to this game. They're probably not feeling under too much pressure. They don't have to make any risky moves. And we saw in the last game, sometimes overstepping the mark, it did hurt OG. Understandably going to be a bit more careful this time round. Hello, Thompson indeed. Caught the once. Backup coming in from OG. I mean, are they able to do anything about this? Thompson, he's off to the side looking for Boom. Boom still has the BKB available. Boom's just going to go for the TP out right underneath the nose of Thompson. Thompson's got nothing to cancel it. As Boom makes it away. Not even having to pop the BKB. TP back to base will save the two of them.
Okay, and that's the Aegis.
Maybe not quite lost in the fashion that OG hoped to use it in that.
I don't think Thompson expected to just get grabbed like that. I don't think he thought that both cores were in the area together, but Viking still playing
has fallen.
very much as a unit still. Like I even see top, like Aramis showed top, they saw like a hero show for a second, the Axe TP's top, so still looking to play off of each other nicely. No tail. Just get forced out of that high ground.
Careful how they play around Boom now. Boom's going to be hit pretty darn hard with this MKB.
Radiant's bottom tower
on himself.
is under attack.
And oh, Sumail actually doesn't go for. Okay, I thought maybe he would because this is like that type of game for him, the spider legs, but he just keeps the sliver. So I guess he's just really looking to be that tanky beast. And I mean the base damage. I think people always forget about this. Like it's a really good item just for if you have gone for this type of just like straight agi damage items too. It's quite relevant on heroes like Medusa.
Oh, for sure. Well, we might see him still shift into the realms.
Might shift.
Having a movement speed neutral once he's in a position to sell the treads, pick up the 6th item.
For sure.
See how it goes down when it comes to approaching the high ground here if OG want to push it. I say that they're going to be careful about this. They're not going to feel too much pressure to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, I think also after the first game, right? Like discipline, I think is something that OG needed to get a little bit better on. So I think this is a much better approach this time. Just farm the map. You've got the late game scaling this time for sure. So.
In my armor.
Accelerate.
Ooh, top, they could see top 7. Oh, just a love tap from Boom.
I mean, yeah, Boom does get the Yule setup. He could have the damage to take down Seb.
Silence.
Deals out a lot with this MKB.
That looked like he was like trying to swing inside the tree line there, and then he just accidentally auto-attacked Seb with the quiver because of the attack range. But there was vision of him anyway. There was a ward from OG. As Aramis, he's getting farm. You know, this fireball, it's working. He had the Ags queued up for a second on DK. Now he's switching to Halberd, trying to find solutions for this Medusa.
This is not out.
Charging in.
He gets
Underneath
hexed.
this ward though. OG fully aware of the angle that Shad's approaching from. Now Seb is going to look for the jump back in with a concoction. Shad still the BKB in another blink up. Shad can still close the gap. He's going to get in onto Seb. Sumail in with the backup. BKB comes out from Boom with a hook shot out as well as the damage from Sumail. Boom's trying to step back, but the right click from Sumail is too much. As Boom gets taken down. Dream Coil controls Shad. Sumail, he'll be able to clean up the two of them.
Those are huge kills. 70 seconds, no Lina. 80 seconds, no Axe. That's very likely a set unless they're just going to have to buy back.
Is under attack.
Sumail now 25. Got the split shot modifiers. Now he's going to be able to buy that swift blink. He's huge.
I mean, he can pretty much just jump up to the high ground and take down these tier 3s and barracks. And
Radiant structures.
very little that Viking will be able to do against him, it seems, with how large he is. A clear 10k net worth against anybody else in the game right now. The plan is certainly working out so far here from OG when it comes to just sitting back, Sumail, allowing him to get to this point. where they're ready to break the base, and what have Viking got in store to be able to take down this Medusa, even with the full lineup alive, which they don't have for 30 seconds. Very hard to see how they're bringing Sumail down 100 to 0.
Yep, and he's buffed up. I mean, we've got the pipe, we've got the solar crest constantly being thrown onto him too, and every time his snake returns, especially if it hits either Kezu, the AA, or the Lina, he's pretty much full mana restored.
Are under attack.
There we have it, OG.
Radiant's top barracks
Head up,
has
they
fallen.
take the racks. Nothing at all that can be done by Viking. OG, again, as we said, sticking to the discipline, backing out, heading off. No need to get over aggressive, make mistakes. I think right now, it could even be sort of Sumail just calling the shots. It's in their best interest to just follow, play around this Medusa, and allow Sumail to close the game up in the safest fashion that he possible.
Yeah, now at this point, like, as long as you don't make some drastic mistakes, if you just play together as a team, like, you've got this game. You've got it in the bag. You see the spider legs now passed off to Sumail. He's got a crit, I believe, finished up too, so he wants to open up a slot. Or a small crit, not quite the Daedalus yet, but soon. Yeah, just keep playing around him. Viking, they're gonna need, it really does feel like Shad needs to get to like a 3-man call, but I haven't seen OG really playing together like that at all, so.
Much pressure on Viking to make some sort of crazy move, catch OG off guard, try and break them down one by one, outside and away from Sumail's reach as the Medusa.
That's really how it has to be. They just have to, like, you have to catch Thompson somehow at the start of the fight, kill him, and then kill all the rest up, and then somehow bring down Sumail. Or just find Sumail if he's completely alone, nowhere near his team. But that should never happen, the way that OG's been playing. It's not easy for Viking at all this game.
Big parts of
Are scanning.
the Axe AA combo last game really was the potential of the global cataclysm, especially the double cataclysm that we saw coming into the later parts of the game. And whilst Boom will still be able to do some severe damage with the reach and right click that he has to the big build, it's just not going to have the same sort of potency and ease of execution as the Invoker on top of the Axe AA had in last game.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Invoker has like the infinite kind of scale potential. Sure, Lina does if you're snowballing the game, if you're getting like this really good kills and getting yourself these items accrued and you're level 25 at this point, but yeah, it's not going to be the case. And also, it's just like, Shad is an Axe versus Alliance, so he can't get as farmed as he was last game. Like, your Axe illusions just die. They get sent and they just get hexed and mana drained and they're gone. Toxic didn't even go for the shard this game until I think maybe he's bringing it out now or in a bit, but either way, it's slowed down the Axe's farm so much. And
We'll take that.
yeah, this game is very impossible now at this point.
It certainly feels like it. 22k lead, Sumail pretty much entirely kitted out. Daedalus Stun, he's even got the full Hurricane Pike coming out to him. He has certainly finished farming here, I think, as OG feels like we are getting into the territory where OG could dive pretty darn deep, but as long as Sumail keeps his cool, hits the objectives, they're probably going to be able to take away the base of Viking without Viking managing to do much to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting way too much farm. It's like almost AC now finished for the Alchemist. Medusa's getting for everything. The whole map is free for them, and they just farm at that way faster pace. Thompson's not at risk of dying anymore either, because he has Lincolns, so he can split push lanes freely, and Vikings just trapped in their base. I've seen Kezu in the base now for like 4 minutes. They can't get outside. Meanwhile,
away from his AC.
Now we get the tier 4s, and also Roche is up. So now you're forced into a position here as Viking. You have to farm your neutrals to try to get those tier 4s, but you also have to constantly be scouting the Roche pit. As the Hex bottom, the stun.
Yep, they've got the setup. Shad, is he going to be able to get out in time? OG bringing everybody in here to try and take down this Axe. They've got the coil control. Hook shot in as well from No Tail. Shad taken out. This mid lane towards maybe the Roshan while Shad's down for 80. I mean, even with the full squad of Viking up, OG probably had the power to take the Rosh. One man down, they definitely do. Very hard for Viking to put a stop to this.
Yeah, full AC now. It's done now for Seb, so this is going to die in no time. A couple of seconds here. Shard. Did you give it to Sumail this game? I guess I mean, you could just give it to Seb for the Berserk Potion. It might just be better, but let's see the buyback coming up from Shad. We'll try to contest it.
To sort of spook OG a little bit, but they step out of the pit. not wanting to get caught inside it by the jump from either Aramis or Shad. We'll give a little bit of space here to Viking. Still, of course, not heading away from the action. OG, they will happily take a fight around the pit.
They've got Chemical Rage back up now for Seb, so he's ready to act a little bit more of that front line. He was waiting till it. He's ninja geared on the side. Or actually, they're smoked, sorry. He does have a ninja gear at the ready, too.
Last time from OG, a jump up to this high ground, did grant them some kill to start the action off. Shad. The call! No, let's try and force Samael away to break him out of the combo, and it'll do so. Gets the stone gates off Samael. He's ready to turn. Aramis, he's going to be taken down low. They are stunning Samael up. Dragon Tail as well. They're certainly reducing the potential for Samael to get the damage done. They're still selling him what falls. Seb, he's able to run down Shad to the side. The stun follow-up there from Saxon as they keep the axe locked down. Shad will get the call off, but Samael's able to get him with the damage. There's 3 dead on Viking. Even with their best efforts there to control Samael, it isn't nearly enough. They cannot control or deal with this Medusa anywhere close to as long as they need to stop Samael in his tracks. So Samael, he's going to continue to charge on straight down mid. The victory is straight in his sights now.
Yeah. They kind of did like 0 damage to him on. They took out his mana pool, but that's pretty much it. And everybody from OG still alive. Perfect connection to spells. Yeah, it's time to clean this one up. 80 seconds, no X.
Middle tower is under attack.
Here we are, the CF4s
fortified.
being taken out. They've got a fortification, but you know Shad
Radiant's bottom tower
having to
is
do
under
this without their
attack.
strongest member, as we've seen in the action, isn't even really that strong at all this game. Maybe the 18 to 18 that kills Diva, but 33k lead. Samael just being able to rack up an insane amount of farm. The point where he is just this monster of a Medusa.
Radiant's bottom
But
barracks.
Viking have no answer to whatsoever. Into the base, mega creeps are taken here by OG. Traps there on the Kezu. No tell, hook shot over towards Aramis. Samael just ready to pad up the KDS. The game will come to an end. GG is called. OG with a very much safer approach here to this game too. They look pretty unstoppable with this execution. The strategy much cleaner and built around a Samael Medusa. The Viking, maybe with the Axe Airs that some of the power.
puede tapar a Sim. Ahí está, Sim podría caer aquí. Una buena ayuda del Lion. Mata a Ramis rápidamente, pero aún mata a Sim a cambio. Y que eso de escaparse, deslizándose hacia la torre, va a conseguir sobrevivir. Boom aún quiere matar a Thompson. Y Pure nos ayuda un poquito. Su mail protegiéndole.
Simplemente matar a Boom. Cuidado con este que también entra con todo Thompson. La Splash también que conecta. Y esta explota simplemente entró también la lina. Oh, una buena sorpresa. Toda la cara de cuidado con Thompson. Esto es peligroso porque el Batraje empieza a quemar también. Y aparece la Medusa junto con el Stone Case. Cuidado con Case. Finalmente muere también el señor Thompson. Y la presión de parte de los chicos de OG se siente. 2 por 2 al intercambio en la parte central.
Punto pescado. Uy, chat, no. Ahí se ha llegado, han visto a Thompson. Han visto a Thompson, lo pueden calcular. Thompson se escapa a tiempo. El stun sobre Shad. Lo que está en pruebas puede ser Seth. Aquí está Berserker Skull. Quieren pustear, llega su main. Seth baileando. Se pone cayendo. ¡La lina! Se comió el hookshot. Boom, escapa por tu vida. No hay manera. Adiós a Boom. Adiós a Boom. A cambio, Note, pero ¿qué más te da? Vas a perder a 2 goles de gratis. Shad acaba de posiblemente suicidarse. Quieren burstearle antes de que salga Leon Disc. Ahí está, Leon Disc, ahora hay Coil. Lo peta para usar el resistente Leon Disc. Hex inmediatamente. Shad, por el amor de Dios. No sé si
contra farmeada, o sea, vale aunque sea que tengan por ahí. Encontraron finalmente 2 cosas también. ¿Qué pasó? Cada vez que se prende el ranking potente. Finger of Death también que pasó con este TK. Se va a derretir finalmente. El Fireball también se ha lanzado. Cuidado con la línea. Boom se va a derretir, pero no se escapa con la Shadow Blade también. Pero fíjate que Medusa no, ni siquiera le quitaron un cuarto de vida y entra a ser con todo. El ranking es muy bueno, pero se compró. Recordemos que se compró Shad también. Pobrecito del Axe. Earthspike lanzado, pero fíjate el daño que empieza a recibir la base de Axe. Venga para acá, Berserker Skull, pero no está en la bolsa. Se sienta back, my friend. No se puede comprar. Y la escuadra de OG así. Ya la escuadra de OG, al menos apuntando a esta tercera partida. Uy, inició sobre Celeri también. Cuidado, ese Finger of Death, muy bueno. Ahí está contento, pero no está muerto. Es un back. Dios mío, no hay mucho que hacer, no se puede comprar tampoco. Cuidado con Opel, molestando un poco nada más. Entra con todo. Eso también, ahí está. Cuidado con su Bale, Dios mío. ¿Cómo? Esta Medusa. Ahí está. Wicked Stick también consigue una baja más. Y ahí se vino la Team Wipe. Pero no, ahí son las lanzado y cantado el fabuloso GG. No digo más
ahí
algo,
está.
porque...
Bueno. Cortito el GG, gracias, amigo.
Habrá que ver quién es el que se mantiene en las upper bracket y quién es el que va a las lower bracket. Difícil lo que ha estado viviéndose a lo largo de esta segunda serie. Justamente, no estoy solo, me encuentro con el señor Apple Plus.
Han sido unas partidas definitivamente muy trepidantes y muy alocadas, como es la costumbre. OG hizo, voy a piquear a un alquimista contra un Next Generation, ¡papam! Y ganaron con un alquimista de off que funcionó muy bien. Creo que sorprendentemente el Next Generation jugó en contra de Viking GG solo por lo débil que es como laner, y la línea de alquimista más Lion era suficientemente fuerte como para darle a un Axe y a un Next Generation que no sabían qué hacer. Así que felicidades, muy bien pensado por parte de OG. Y ahora vuelven a sacar al alquimista que les funcionó tan bien, pero en este caso podían flexiarlo de carry o de medio.
Sí, ya no tienes la Apparition. Por este lado creo que el equipo de OG va a sorprender. Banean a la Medusa la escuadra de Viking para evitar al menos esa combinación, ¿no? Nuevamente, ¿no? Del tema del cetro sobre esta Medusa, que también es bastante fuerte. Ahora, no hay Temper Assassin tampoco. Banean al Gyrocopter. La escuadra de Viking otra vez optando por lo que es un Dragon Knight. A ver.
Oh, nice.
For the same thing in the first game where they paired it up with the Magnus, who's still in the pool, and Viking is actually taken into their bonus time now that they can't get the AAT.
Yeah, I think with the...
Sorry. I was going to say,
go ahead.
I think with the AA band and the Timbersaw band, I think Dragon Knight becomes like a super valuable 2-3 pick. Just being able to flex it, it's almost like it's very similar to Axe this patch. Would you agree, T?
Yeah, you just kind of pick it in your draft and it's very confident, right? Like, you don't feel bad. I think that's the thing about drafting, right? It's like, if there's a hero that you can pick and you don't feel like, oh, but we have to ban this or we have to do this, that hero innately is very good in the draft. And it's like the DKs, these kind of OG, the Hoodwinks, Timber, AA, like all these heroes have that kind of value of just confidence when you enter that kind of second phase at least.
Yeah, and I think in this spot, in the 2-3 for the second pick team, if you can pick a support that could be played on 5 position or 4 position, the same idea as picking like a core that could play in either 1, 2, or 3. It allows you to keep your draft very flexible and open, and also like it's hard for your opponents to draft against it because they're not necessarily they're trying to pick for their lanes, right? First pick often has like 2 counter picks usually, whereas second pick has the last pick, but it's just hard when you don't know exactly where people are going to end up going.
I'm a little worried about this bonus time. Yeah, this is like, oh, there we go. Okay,
There's
surprise, it's a lion.
Lion DK then? Lion Brood?
I prefer, when you go Lion, I feel like that's your disable, that's your, that's your thing. I think you want to get more damage on top of it, so to me, like DK and Axe are almost
10
like...
seconds remaining.
I don't know, Axe is a special hero.
You don't want to say it again?
Good. No, I
5
think it's fine.
seconds
I mean, I would.
Okay.
This is for TI, right? Like you bring your best, and Axe is certainly a hero this patch for sure.
This is the importance of this game for Viking. It's like they go for the DK. It's the fact that they're a team who has gone from nothing to now being in TI qualifiers, and they have to kind of prove that they can adapt over a series. The biggest shortcoming of the team so far throughout DPC online tournaments is they're unable to kind of always kind of connect the dots quick enough to then overwhelm their opponents. I feel like this game, TI qualifier, upper bracket, they want to hold the upper bracket spot. They're going to need to kind of take a read on how they lost to OG.
5
Like
seconds
when you lose game
remaining.
1, you adapt, you improve, you go to game 2. That's what OG did. Losing game 2, same thing. You give away the Alk again, like you see what's coming. This is where it really shows if Viking are able to, on the fly during a series, understand why they lost quickly within the 20-minute break, and then instantly come back with a good response.
And I think that's what separates a lot of these, pretty good teams to like the really good teams that have like Puppy, Kuro, and No-Tail and stuff.
Exactly.
Like their experience as captains and leaders and being able to adapt and improvise on the fly, gives them this advantage in game 2s and game 3s especially.
Scary, honestly. Like you'd think it's pretty easy. Like if you have a game plan going into game 1, like we can copy paste that formula or that draft style going to 2, 3, whatever. Like we're good for the entire series. No, like after game 1, your entire cleanly written out notes. They banned this, we picked this, bam, out the window. You got to really like. There's some like kind of things that I kept saying, but yeah, it's very difficult to really prepare for the entirety of a series.
I think it's helping Peter, do you think it helps for Viking? Because they don't do the drafting themselves. Their coach is doing the drafting, Immortal Faith. Do you think that's a thing that helps? Because as T says, you only have 20 minutes. Otherwise, Immortal Faith has been able to see the whole game play out. It has maybe got a bit of a different read than if he actually played the
It depends. I feel like in the middle of a series, like T was saying, like it's very on the fly. Like you're always adapting, and your plan before the series is probably completely different going into this game 3. And I also think that like preparing for matches and stuff it's a little bit overrated. I think what it does actually is give the team confidence that their ideas are strong and thought out, and it really just gives like the team the right attitude going into the series, at least with the draft. They all know that they need to, be adaptable. You can't just say like I'm going to pick these 5 heroes and we'll play.
It's just about confidence, right? Like you want to be able to get everyone understanding what you want to bring to the game, so that when you get into the game, it's like you're not having these questions. Like that's already ironed out. So I like the fact that so far with Vikings draft, they know the act was coming. They're now second phase. They're banning out what they think right now are going to be the pairings. Like they most likely won't ban Monkey King unless they have some, maybe they've seen it in a scrim or something. But Gyro and Medusa, they're the top 2. I'm trying to think what that third ag
Bristle,
is.
it's Bristle. That hero is
Bristle
crazy.
vibes. That's true. That hero is so obnoxious, especially with the AA and Timber banned out. But they banned out TB instead.
They could still go for the Bristle if they really wanted to. Previous game we had Viking in this phase also banning out the Void Spirit and the Monkey King as 2 targets that OG has used in the past for that first Ags from the offlane Alchemist.
5 seconds
so those
remaining.
are still in the pool as well.
Again, PPD just said Bristle, and in my mind I'm just picturing like one more weak hero from Viking. I just really want to see like a Thompson Bristle for some random reason run like. Again, support player. A Baden, like how confident do you feel when there's like you're playing a Baden and they're running at you? Like how good do you really feel?
It's a matchup that goes both ways, but the low armor and AoE damage from the Quill Spray can be difficult for a Baden to deal with. But you can remove Goose Stacks, and
that's true.
You're a bit of a hard kill for Bristle at times, but not always. I'm not saying that they're going to pick it. I just think the hero. I think the Ags on the hero is like really strong. Like you basically hit like. What you just go hood into like Eternal Shroud on Bristle, and then you get in Ags, and then it's like that timing. I think it's just way too strong. Like you basically just invade the enemy team's ancients, and they're just forced to split push and play side lanes for like the next 10 minutes.
What's the hero with the Baden?
OG's turn to pick.
Probably a range hero. They could do. I mean, they could do DP safely, but I wouldn't suggest it. Probably some. I mean, they're gonna last pick, hopefully. I mean, they know the Alchemist is in the offlane, which is kind of surprising for them to wait on it, but they could do like a mid carry.
10 seconds.
TA's banned, Invoker's banned, Lena's taken.
5 seconds.
Those are the popular ones at the major.
Like I'm looking at Vikings' previous drafts, and it's the idea their Baden has often been paired with like Spectre and like Lifestealer, like not these generic cores that you'd feel would be enabled by the Baden, but it's the mid lane is really being propped up. It's the Leshraks, the DPs. So I'm just trying to think like maybe the Shad will go for. Okay, they have to ban Spectre if you're OG. I feel right now, just for the fact that it's too good of a game for that hero.
10 seconds remaining.
The Ags on Drow though, that's the one where you attack, you stack up your frost charges, right?
I have no idea what Drow's Axe does.
Yeah, I think is it still is that the shard though? You know what? Luckily we're at home, right? We can just Google this.
Thank you.
I got you. No, I'm just gonna Google it real quick.
Yeah, you work on that.
Or is it the split shot still? I mean, I think
I'm sure it's still the split shot, right? That was a great panel segment, guys. Moving on.
No, it's fine. Alchemist doesn't necessarily even have to go this like early Ags like we saw him in the last game, and he got the pipe. Like this would be a great game to get a Solar Crest, I think, and he can just be like utility. I think the hero itself is not that weak. We saw it do very, very well in lane last game, and I think OG's kind of made the shift, right? Seb always plays these sort of like very selfless heroes, like the Mag Empower, the Alchemist in the last game. I think they've identified that the Alchemist maybe works better for them, or maybe it's just a stronger lane, which I would agree. I think Magnus is more of a mid/carry. If you're who was the Southeast Asian team that played? Was it TNC was playing the carry mag for Gabby?
Yeah, the Midget.
Yeah, that was pretty strong, I think.
Guys, with my intensive research, it is just split shot on the Ags.
Oh.
It's the shard that does all the frost stuff.
Is it OP
There's also
though?
still.
Is it OP?
Nah.
Is it good?
No.
There's also still heroes in the pool that Thompson would take mid that you could get an early axe on. Void Spirit, of course, comes to.
Radiant team back.
Nah, Bristleback for sure. No, they probably won't
I'd
do
still
it.
be down for it. You get it on a frontliner. I mean, when you're playing Drow, you kind of you don't have a frontliner in the Alchemist, right? Because he's
This
not
is OG.
going...
It could be Drow mid.
Actually, that's a good. That's it. It's just Drow mid, surely, because like during DPC, Thompson had that, fixation on Dragonlance for a small period of time, and that was Drow mid. So it could be cool. Yeah, most likely would just be that, right?
It could be either. I could see Sumail playing it. I could see Thompson playing. I really don't know what they'll go with their last hero.
Is Lesh still available? They could still just go for like a Lesh carry, Drow mid, and that kind of overwhelming run at you style. More utility, Alch, less Ags. Because like, you don't have to go for Ags on Alchemist, but you probably want to slot it in somewhere on one hero at least.
What do we want to see from Viking? Their last hero. They're still quite a bit open, but I think we don't have Shad's hero yet.
Yeah.
We need to know what OG's doing first, right? Like they have this pick. We need to know, like, is it mid Drow? Is it going to be an additional carry? Like, what's the situation? Like Spectre, for example, is still available. So they go for a Razor. Razor Axe?
It'll be, I mean, Razor Axe is pretty good. So it could be Razor or Drow in the safe lane or mid, depending on where Viking GG decides to put Dragon Knight. And
10 seconds remaining.
obviously, like, you want the Razor versus the offlane DK, the Razor mid versus the DK, or Razor versus DK and Drow versus DP, I think is most ideal.
And they just go for the Spectre. Yeah.
All right. Well, we saw that one coming.
This is like one of those picks where it secures you your later portion of the game, but we saw this in the first series, Smashes v Enigma, game 3, where it's like you have this draft that scales okay, but like you just can't really get there. And I feel like this is maybe what happens again with OG, because you're gonna have a decent Razor time, this Drow will have a free time landing into DK, and they're gonna group up quite cleanly. So maybe we see a repeat of game 2, or Viking can hold out with their discipline.
How does go for it.
No, I was saying I see a repeat of game 2 as well. I feel like Sumail is going to free farm from beginning to end, and I feel like Vikings draft it's kind of going in two directions. It's like momentum push, right, with DK, Bad, and Death Prophet, but okay, no, we're going to sit back and wait for Haunt.
10 seconds.
So what needs to happen for Viking? Like, is there one key timing that you're looking for?
5 seconds remaining.
The real question: who's going to suck more a mid lane, the Razor or the DP?
Yeah, I think it's going to be battle of mid lane once again. The Spectre's first Haunt, 10-minute catapult. Are they able to take a tower? Are they able to, break the Dire Ancients? Is the Dusa gonna free farm again, which is
take towers, right? You have DK, you have DP. Take these early towers, mitigate that early jungle. Spectre can then buy enough time to come online. But yeah, Viking, they just need to be a bit more proactive. Get Kezu into the game. Don't kind of put him on an island that was this kind of Veno from game 2.
Well, let's find out what's going to happen in this exciting game 3. We're heading over to our commentary team of OD Pixel.
Thank you very much, Steve. Yeah, this is all very important. Game 3 now between OG and Viking. Fog, what do we make of it? As soon as the panel touched upon Viking, they've got the big old Spectre ready for the late game. They have got a lot of timings that they are going to have to be playing around and sort of very much staggering their approaches of the objectives in comparison to the pace and frequency that the OG can bring fights in. Do you like it here, or are you a little concerned against OG with sort of, as PPD said, the strength of Sumail on the Drow Ranger and his ability to carry?
Looks like OG this time they've gone for more like this laning domination, right? Until just like grouping up and going together. While I feel like for Viking, it's a lot of like team fight, but then also it has the Spectre factor coming just to counteract the Drow. So it's, I kind of agree with it. You could also see them potentially just getting like 10 minutes where the lanes they're not active in the first 10-15 minutes, and then I feel like OG just farms the whole map, and they're just gonna have the super farm Drow Ranger that might not be addressed unless like these perfect haunts come out. So a bit concerned for Viking, because they also have to think about their lineup is also needs to walk directly in. Like wrapping around on the back and stuff like that can be a little bit difficult until you do have, let's say, like the blink on DK or Lion, or you use the haunt exactly that to get to the back of the false promise and stuff. Where I feel like OG's draft is like pretty fine with that. That's kind of how they want to play into this draft. Like they're just going to be like, okay, you want to run into us? That means I'm going to get a full link off. That means I'm going to be able to set up my positioning for my Drow Ranger. And this Death Prophet's going to have to run through everything to try to find the backline. So it just feels like it's a bit difficult for Viking when they don't have that vision aspect, or when they don't have those key initiating blinks.
30 seconds to
Let's see.
battle.
Well, we do know that the play, it certainly is there for Viking.
Sure is.
From what we saw in their first game. Playing very, very well in the opening against OG. Last game, very much was sort of somehow popping off, having the space to pop off the rest of the squad and the draft that OG got through against Vikings lineup. See how things play out here in this game through, with both teams taking a bit of a different turn with their drafts.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to see how Spectre's going to do versus this Alchemist Lina, because this is pretty similar to the Alchemist Lion. Sure, Lina can't set up for your stuns as easy, but now that it's so massive, it is kind of easy anyway. But there's going to be heals. There's always going to be like massive amounts of counteracting heals coming out from Celery onto the Spectre. And of course, we're going to have Dispersion skilled up, which is going to reflect a decent amount and keep Shad off. Shad gets more secured farm, because I think both games he was slowed down a bit as the Axe in the safe lane. I think as the Spectre, he should have a better time.
The backup of Celery.
Yeah, we'll see though. We will see.
Sustain and save. The other matchups, the mid lane, DP against Razor. I mean, all in all, is it easier for Boom to sort of flash farm the mid? You know, his new compared to what Thompson's going to be able to burst with the plasma field, and the fact that Thompson's just not going to have a chance to utilize the static link in the lane.
I'd say it's DP favored, yeah.
Yep.
Not massively, but it's definitely DP favored.
Yeah, both
you have the movement speed too. That's the thing, is you have 30 move speed. So the thing about Razor is you want to be able to get at least like a small instance of link off.
Yeah,
it can be tough versus a Death Prophet. If she rushes boots too, which I mean I assume Boom probably won't. He probably still will just go like bottle or just null or something like that. But either way, it's going to be hard for Thompson to get those.
And how are things for pressure on Sumail on the top lane to start off with this duo? You know, you see this Lion and DK and feel that they're going to be able to mess with the Drow on the early levels.
I'm waiting to see what Kezu skills for. Let's see if he does go for Breathe Fire, because Breathe Fire does make it a little annoying, just like slowing down your CS because of the damage reduction. But I feel like Sumail should be pretty decent with double ranged versus this DK Lion.
That was genius. That was genius.
Quite a bit of damage there, walking past the two of them.
Sure did.
Dire's middle tower is under
Regen in
attack.
this lane. Yeah, Celery's fully kitted out and regen, so
Yeah.
he's going to have a fair bit to keep Shad staying in the lane nice and strong and give Shad his best efforts at getting the CS against the pressure of Satcher and Seb early on.
Yeah, let's see if Shad can actually get anything down here. Right now it's just 1-1.
Yeah.
So he hasn't gotten much of any last hits. Celery also getting pressured really hard, so they're never going to be able to slow down Seb is the other awkward thing too. So it's pretty tough lane really for Viking. I thought maybe the Spectre could hold off a little better because he's got 8 armor under tower, but still too annoying. Now miss top. He's the one who has to watch out with his positioning on the line. Kezu should never die. I mean, I don't think he ever will either up here, unless it's a third hero. But Aramis, he could get brought down pretty easy as soon as they hit 2 on OG.
Look to make the pull across here. We'll be able to grab the wave. We'll help shift things back in Viking's favor when it comes to momentum. A little tricky for Notel and Sumail to really get over and do anything about that.
Get back.
And Boom going for the bottle. He actually gets linked up 39 damage right there. And now you see the Razors winning in the last hits in mid because he gets that 39 damage. He gets 4 denies because of it. So yeah, Boom, maybe just rushing for that bottle. You know why you want it, but at the same time, like these matchups, it is very important to always remember just these little type of counteract things. So that might hurt him in these next few waves.
And you imagine, you know, from Seb, because of the fact that you do want to sort of make sure that Sumail has the best game possible, you again do just get that Axe as the first major item for the Alk, or is it not quite as important this game to rush it?
I thought last game he was actually going to hold off on it a little bit more, so
yeah.
I think this one it's even more so that he should rush it, yeah, versus for the Drow, just to protect versus this Spectre. It also does increase the farm potential a lot of a Drow Ranger. That Aghanim, the split shot is really nice, actually.
It does. Lane-wise, you know, this game, Sumail definitely off to a bit of a slower start. Kezu and Aramis. But actually get the setup onto Notel, straight over towards the back lines. They find themselves the kill. Kezu burning down Notel for the first blood. Sumail trying to take Aramis out. Return Aramis is going to have to stun back up. And Sumail, he will get the kill, has got a Fairy Fire also. So he'll ever step out back to the safety of his tower. Kicking off indeed on that top lane. And as we're certainly seeing, whatever happens, you know, with these two duos clashing heads, Kezu, he's going to pretty much walk out of everything at full HP as this deep. He's never going to be under any sort of danger or heat from these two heroes alone.
Yeah, he just needs to make sure he always has mana so they can look to turn for those aggressive plays, potentially maybe going for like a Soul Ring early on since he does have that Ring of Protection.
Yeah.
To look to help. But they've slowed down Sumail decently. You know, he's 14 last hits. He's doing better than the Spectre though, which is pretty big.
That's true. Shad definitely having a tougher time as we have come to see from him, you know, each game really this series, Seb and Saxa not making things easy for Shad on the first few waves of the game.
No, and look at Chad again. Like, he is just getting hit and hit and hit. And that was without even an acid spray being thrown down from Seb.
On top, notes out.
No tail again.
Not a whole lot he can do apart from maybe look for a denies the creeps, and he will get it.
Okay.
So creeps take him out. Kills himself to the stack.
He's pulling at least some aggression off of Sumail, but oh, they actually get the pull off up here now too. So full wave is going to get denied away from Sumail, and he will have a slow stop. But again, I mean, Shad, he's gotten 0 CS in the time that Sumail just got 7. I'm watching Sox and Seb just every time he even walks up for a range creep, acid sprays down, and he potentially just gets stunned up. So Celery has to secure range creeps with a miscoil down here. See, he's at 5 last hits.
I mean, it really is just going to be such a slow game for Shad. I mean, last 2 games, he's on the axe. No, short Spectre at a certain point with the levels, you're able to pretty safely hit the neutrals with the dispersion leveled up, but it's not going to be at the same sort of catch-up pace as he was able to achieve playing the carry axe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Thompson, he's come out ahead in the lane. You know, these 12 denies, they'll definitely add up.
Yeah.
Got the boots in the bottle super early on. We saw Boom, he delayed his boots a little bit, and it definitely hurt Thompson. In a very comfortable spot, Aramis looking to make a move perhaps to slow that down. Also, we have level 6 online, so Exorcism plus Catapult Wave. This could be huge if they can get onto Thompson. And they know Kezu's safe up top. 2 heroes, he should just be fine.
Are fortified.
Here we go.
Straight in. Get the round set up onto Thompson. TP's coming in to try and help out the Razor. Saxa catch Aramis here with the stun. Thompson, he's got the movement speed to get out across the trees. Won't be able to finish Thompson off. As Thompson's able to start bottling back up. Boom, Aramis and Celery have to be a little careful even with the Exorcism out. 3 of them rather low on the HP and the mana.
And the thing is too, like, they went before the enemy siege creep had died already, so their siege is now just gonna walk into tower and die, and they got pretty much 0 damage on tower with that Exorcism. Instead of going for the kill there, I think if they were a little bit more patient, they just go for tower push. And now Celery,
he's gonna be able to get himself a freebie, catching Celery in the river. Thompson's able to swing back in, get the kill. As you say, you look at the tower, only about 200 damage done there off that first usage of the Exorcism. When you do have this DP and DK in a game where you've got to try and keep the pressure on as these 2 cores and take attention away from the Spectre, if you're not taking the early towers, the plan's going to be harder and harder for Viking to execute.
I think they just jumped the gun. I think they were just like so keen on going for the kill that they were just like, wait, we didn't do it the normal approach where you just wait till the siege dies, you have your siege advantage, then you push with a tower with your actual creep wave going. But yeah, they just go for the kill and they end up getting nothing out of it. That was a pretty big loss too for Viking. Like, OG has to be very happy. Now they get a ward down too for that next rotation. So when they go for doing that again, it's going to be spotted. And they're starting to get stacks started. Pretty big for OG at this last movement. May seem small, but it's quite massive when we're talking about how they have to play with their DK and their Death Prophet Exorcism at its maximum in this game so that they don't just get out farmed again, like game 2.
Page is hit. What's up? He's off to the safety at the jungle.
Yep.
Clearing through the stacks. And, on track to once again get a very good axe rush timing for Sumail.
And they are protected. They've got so many wards down in the area now to protect Seb. Just because they saw that first push coming the way Vikings set up for it. Now they know. This is like immediately like stuck in their mind. So okay, they're going to go for another pressure play.
I mean, now they've got 6 hit. And they feel that they're going to have good damage to try and push Kezu back, at least force him to pop out of the lane or at least keep it to the tower.
Okay, Celery tries to walk in. I think, was he trying to ward or something? I'm not sure. He was trying to do something there, but Thompson just swings over for a second, stops him from going toward anything to slow down Seb's Alchemist, who already has 2 components done, Owen.
You are dead.
Timings and more attention thrown the way at Thompson, but not quite able to get a catch on.
Tower is under attack.
Thompson just keeping himself at a safe distance. We'll see what Boom does now. Exorcism ready to go again. It's got to achieve more than it did the first time round.
They're going to be ready, though. Like, OG's going to be so ready for this movement. The D-Ward's going to come out from Aramis to level 3 Lion, level 4 Abaddon. How's the supports on OG looking? 4 and 5, almost 6 on the Lina. So they're getting much more out of the map because Viking supports are just sitting there. They're sitting there waiting for the opportunity to go for this Exorcism push. But OG's like, okay, you guys play your game. which is kind of doing nothing at this point, and we'll play hours of farming efficiently with our stacks.
Efficiently, they will it's much more efficiently than Shad's able to do so in return.
Yeah.
It's going to take him a long time, even with the Blade Mail Rush. He's unable to really clear through camps and neutrals at a pace that's comparable to that of this.
And he doesn't...
Drow, and a Drow that is going to be handed an Aghanim Scepter within the minute. It's 500 gold away from himself.
And it's the Blade Mail Spectre where sometimes you can go to like Ancients and you can clear out Ancients. He doesn't have Ancient stack. He has one Ancient. And then he has a triple Heart Camp, which sure, he can work through that one, but as you mentioned, this Drow's already gonna have Ags. And he's got Ancient stacks prepared for him too. Only one or two, but...
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, it may be some sort of change up in the heroes, but...
Feels similar.
It's looking to be a bit of a repeat of what sort of direction the OG took towards the success they found in game 2.
And it feels like they're getting even, I want to say even more farm. Like I'm watching Saksa for the last 3 minutes just be bottom by himself. He's just in he's like a 4 position who's a 3 almost at this point now because Seb's just jungling. They're not getting any pressure on them, and this has to be concerning for Viking. They get the top tower with Kezu. Mid tower though is only missing 240 HP when you have a Death Prophet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe missing that early timing, that one opportunity that they had with the first ult. Not quite waiting for things to slide into place as they needed to do so, and now
Ags is online.
Just being in sort of an awkward position. Now, who can they make the moves around? Kezu, he's playing towards his Blink Dagger, 1300 gold in towards it.
Not bad.
Boom. Very hard for him to find a chance, as you say, because OG will be prepared to hold on to this tier 1 tower mid. Even Sumail, and he's turning up to farm this mid lane. They're that confident that they can keep such a firm, safe hold of this area still at 10 minutes in.
And look at the Drow's HP. It's like, you look at the heroes on Viking, you're like, oh, they have decent burst damage with Finger, Breathe Fire, Dagger, etc. Now he's got a free Aghanim, so on Strength Shreds, he's 1700 HP. It's like not even a Drow Ranger anymore at this point, who was just sitting at 800 HP before this, or 900 HP on Agi Treads.
Yeah, and your biggest burst really is the Finger. Other than that,
it is the Finger.
It's going to rely on Viking being able to stay on top of the Drow. Drow, Sumail, he's got the best save in the game. He's going to have No-Tail behind him. No-Tail's hit the 6. It's not easy to get on top of Sumail's Drow. No-Tail is going to be able to do a solid job of saving him. As you mentioned at the start, there isn't a hero like that Clockwork that was so crucial for Viking in terms of catching No-Tail in game 1. Mid lane, look at the setup onto Aramis. They're going to come in for hook. Look towards Saksa. Saksa corner the river, but the false promise comes out. Saksa will live a little longer. He's going to look for TP back to base. He's back to the fountain. Shad's going to end up getting taken down as OG just kite him up. Sumail stands on the high ground, take him out. 3 heroes dead. That was another attempt with the Exorcism. I mean, and an attempt that just falls flat on its face here from Viking. Game 2, like, that started to look pretty much impossible for Viking at the 20 or so minute mark. Already 12 minutes in, it really does feel like the plan that Viking came into this match with has sort of been lost completely.
Absolutely. They couldn't even kill the Lina Owen. The false promise saves Saksa. He gets back to, like, he gets back. Sumail shows up. They don't even have everybody there. They only have like 3-4 heroes. Topsy comes in at the end just for a swing around to clean up. 7,000 gold lead, 12 minutes. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous. You have, like we said, they have like good burst spells, but they couldn't kill anybody there. And this is a very low level of Addon now, level 5, as we've said. You know, the support's struggling, and everyone on Viking struggling now.
Even with, you know, the factor of the Alchemist, it's still, you know, pretty insane to see just the number of Sumail's net worth, the same net worth as 2 cores of Viking put together at this very early timing of 12 minutes in. He's just having a great time, and already, you know, early days in the qualifier, first series for these 2 teams, but I think a lot of the squads will be watching this from OG, and, you know, this whole idea, you know, Seb on the out, getting that early Ags towards Sumail. You've got to wonder, how many times are we going to see this? How many times are we going to see this get let through? Is this something that teams are going to feel they have to take away from OG? Because the 2 games we've seen it so far, it's looking pretty simple for OG.
Agreed. I think they definitely have to have thought of something else there, especially if they didn't, with the AA axe, if they weren't able to deal with it, and then they left it again this time, you know, it's a concern. 9k lead, OG getting to do pretty much whatever they want on the map. See, I don't know the timing here for Viking. Is this? I think the timing really is. I think you already missed. I mean, you missed your big timings. You had to get these like early tier 1s set up when you could go with your team, but now you're so far behind. And Chad just has nowhere to farm now. That was your first haunt usage, and you got completely smashed earlier.
Yeah, the haunts, the exorcisms, they've just not been cutting it here for Viking.
Okay, so blink on DK. So they got to go again. Like, you can't just sit back. The thing is, you have to make these moves happen anyway on Viking. Even though it didn't work this last time, I think you have to smoke, try to get on Notel with this blink on Kezu, and then go for the rest of the targets. As Celery just is dead.
Bullseye.
Yep, Samel's pretty much level 12, so the damage from him is going to be pretty outrageous, hitting these early levels at just at the 14 minutes. And still, as you say, when is this Spectre going to be a threat? Now, what is Shad going to be able to offer?
Notel?
Against
What the heck?
All right, well, that's a free one.
Radiant's
He was
top
on the
tower
enemy
is
high.
under
He was
attack.
in the trees in the enemy.
All right.
He just last hit a range creep and then just got jumped. That's Kezu, though.
He's ready with the buyback. He's going to come with the buyback. They've got the concoction down on Kezu. It certainly looks to be it. The gust comes out onto Aramis. Sep going to actually have the damage there to finish off the Lion. So, Baitha won't grant them any instant kills. Thompson does still manage to sweep him from the side. They will get Aramis. Thompson, he's even looking to dive in for more. He's got the link in onto Celery. It will back off with the fortification pop. The damage from the tower starting to kick in. Thompson steps away, not looking to make the mistakes that were made in the first game of the series.
That was the DK form and the exorcism pop though, and they can't touch the tower again. And straight into the Roche Pit OG. Now there's no ults. They only have a haunt available. There's no way Viking can fight this again.
Yeah, I guess that was the plan from Notel all along.
He'll tell you that. I mean, I think he just walked up and tried to last hit a range creep with Purifying Flames and got caught, but it ends up working out for them.
Roshan has fallen to the
Aegis on Samel. Even if you are able to get on top of this drought, you've got to deal with him twice. It's not going to be easy at all.
No. And Sab even buys another early game item. He buys them the drum. So they're even stronger when they are as this unit. And Viking, yeah, they need to, let's see what level our Death Prophet is actually. So Boom, I feel like hit level 12. And then your level 2 Exorcism could still do decent damage, but you have to get these jumps. It's just not easy when they're all so tanky now. 2,200 HP on Thompson plus Sab also tanking. Everyone's just so... At least the main targets, the ones that you have to get through. Because you can't get into these backline squishies. Only the Spectre can. And Shad is not at a point where he wants to really jump into the backline by himself.
No, he needs to, at least until he has the Manta, then he has a potential to getting in with the illusions, maybe threatening one of the lives of the separated supports. All that item's done. Actually, even swapping it up, going maybe the way of the Echo Saber, and he will invest in this. I mean, something that we are seeing on some of these carries nowadays.
Okay.
I mean, I like it. I'm obviously terrible at the game, but I do like this build myself. He probably feels that he's going for this because there is pressure. He knows that he's going to have to do something pretty soon.
He has to fight soon. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Echo Saber gives you that quick stats. It's obviously going to be a much easier, quicker pickup than him waiting for the full Manta style.
It's like one of the most valuable item pickups in the game now, period, on these like melee heroes. They just, you need HP, you need some mana regen, here you go. Like that's why it's so popular in Slark before, and then people, I guess, just started realizing how good the item really is, right? Just gives you 5 extra strength. It gives you so much extra just out of picking it up.
Radiant's
Double hit is no joke with Desolate either.
Absolutely not.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Tier 2 taken out. Outpost getting claimed. 50, dude, the gold lead just is getting it's getting too big too fast. He's almost worth 3 heroes now, Owen.
Dire's top tower.
Samel, he's definitely been enjoying the last 2 games of this series. He would be, I'm sure he's looking forward to more games, more drafts from the squad that's going to enable him to play as he is. Just be this incredible beast of a carry that good luck getting anywhere close to. Keeping up with. You're just not going to be able to do so.
Soxa was thinking about going for him down bottom. Oh, of course, yeah.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Of course, the prophecy. You know, the Grove Bow for the Drow. Why not? Insult injury for poor Viking.
Haste.
Kezu getting some damage on tier 2.
Sweeping up. They know that
Dire's
some of Vikings up and not the full squad, just the 3 of them. Boom, Aramis and Kezu.
To my house.
See how carefully they keep themselves hidden. Seb He's ready to charge in. He's in. Jump forwards, look towards Aramis. They are able to get the stun off, so Seb won't be able to throw out the concoction. Are still able to catch Aramis within the AoE though, as Aramis will try his best to hide into the trees. Kezu's going to look for the TP out. Is he able to get out in time? He is. Not quite enough damage to bring down Kezu, as Kezu will escape. Aramis, on the other hand, will not. They take down the Lion. Kezu manages to live another day here.
Meanwhile, Thompson doing his own thing as usual in the mid lane, diving into Baden. And Aramis just can't find anything in this game, right? No space for this Lion. 500 away from the Blink Dagger, desperately needing that too, so they can have the ways to jump into backline together, collectively, with that Spectre and DK and Lion. The OG just continues to have all this control.
Radiant's top tower.
It's really just Shad getting farm, and it's a huge concern when your Death Prophet's not able to keep getting this scale and going. Sure, she's got plate mail, sure, she's got Yules, and sure, she does have a save behind her, but it's not going to help that much versus all this crazy damage that the Drow's starting to build up so quickly.
What do Viking do? Bring around Boom. Let me see if they can catch out OG making any aggressive mistakes, but sort of the extensions of game one that OG made that did lead to the fall of them later in the game. That's just not sort of happened in the second or third of this series. OG very much bringing out a much more serious, refined style of Dota that's looking very hard for Viking to crack.
They're kind of splitting up though a bit on OG. I do feel like Viking could punish a little bit when they do see like everyone on the map. Like they just saw 3 heroes showing, but let's see if they can.
If they can do it, and with the finger, but the false promise comes out. Thompson is going to be able to get out to the side. Seb's heading over as well. No tail, actually going to be able to be saved here, but the gust coming out onto Shad, and they're ready to turn. Thompson pretty much back up to full HP. They've controlled Boom. The DP is gone as they save Thompson even like that. As you said, that sort of one chance where maybe they catch a member of OG out on their own. They could not quite do it. They just do not have the firepower.
I'm glad they at least tried for it. I think if they were a little bit quicker when they noticed that everybody was split up, because I think the ward that they have in the OG jungle saw the Lina for a second, and I think they saw like the Alchemist for a sec. That's why they go for this jump, but I think they hesitated a little bit too much. No-Tail, he saw it coming too. Gets the TP off. It was clutch by No-Tail, but yeah, game continues to just be pretty much impossible for poor Viking. That's all their ults for the 3rd time expended, and they can pretty much get nothing out of it again.
Back to the high ground, back to the base here for Viking. As OG take complete control of the map.
They're just complete mode chill. It's almost satanic on Thompson. Seb has almost got the next Ags done. Everyone's just chilling. I mean, it is 2-9. It is 22,000 gold lead. We do have that 1K per minute that has been hit, which is usually the signs of GG.
Pretty insane numbers indeed. I mean, it's Sumail very much the sort of the core player, the carry player that, you know, this is kind of how you expect things to go when you involve Sumail in a situation where there's the mechanic of him getting this Aghanims given to him so early. You know, already Sumail, now he'll pop off and be a beast from the carry position without that. You've given that sort of extra benefit, and yeah, good luck dealing with the man. He's going to become a right terror, and he certainly has here 2 games in a row now.
All on ranged heroes too, I noticed. I'm going to start watching out to see how much Sumail does play these melee heroes, because I was watching on some of his pubs too. He's like playing like the Tower Blades, the range carries. He's mostly just a ranged player, it feels like. I think Sox is having the funnest game. This is probably like the funnest 4-position game ever. You literally have like no weight on your shoulders at all. You're just farming. You're just farming, playing your own game. No worries.
That was pretty much same net worth here as Kezu.
Yep.
As you said, definitely becoming sort of an extra 3 here for the side of OG.
Vikings looking to hit though. They're identifying that OGs are starting to split up everywhere, trying to punish it.
And if they smoke up there, but a little bit of an unfortunate reveal as Aramis does make a hex move onto the illusion of Sumail, so OG's going to be pretty much aware that the Vikings looking for action. Maybe not aware enough of Sumail. do still get him with the Dragon Tail stun. See if there's going to be any backup in time to smell. There isn't. They get on top of the Drow. They bring it down. See if they can get more out of this. They turn over towards Toxin. Toxin just frontlining it, but the damage is too high. He charges straight back in. And just like that, Viking, against a 20k gold lead of OG, they've just taken down 2 cores plus no tail. I mean, against the odds here, Viking showing they've still got it to tackle OG despite the strength of their cores. Mispositioning, costing OG everything there, as maybe Viking can still pull something out against this incredible lead that OG has had for the first 20 minutes of the game.
They're gonna need that quite a few more times, but I'm so happy. Like I'm like asking for, right? Like they got to make a move when everyone's split up like that, and they do. They find the perfect catch. And then I think Thompson, he ran in because he popped Satanic and he ran to try to get to no-tail, but he got blocked and just got shredded by Exorcism. So that'll happen. Is a good move from Viking and much needed space for Shad, as nearly has Manta done. It does need quite a lot more.
All right. Finally, the game spicing up a little bit there. I think OG, I guess as well, with the sort of the relaxed positioning they had there between their players, their heroes, and they probably felt that the game was incredibly, in an incredibly comfortable position. With the lead that they have, it's still, it is rather comfortable.
It is still.
But definitely shaken up a little bit there, and having to maybe give a bit more respect to what Viking can still do, despite the heavy gold deficit that they're playing with.
And maybe not showing like 3 different lanes when the ultis are up. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like the Viking cooldowns are pretty long, so as long as you're not split up on that timing of when they're all up, you should be pretty okay on OG. It's only if you get caught out when everything is up as they quickly eviscerate a Roche. That's going to be the Berserk Potion, I believe, for the Alchemist, and also the Shard taken for the Drow.
They're ready to get themselves back in action. Celery borrowed time still on cooldown. See about and gone. See how much OG want to push the aggression now that they have the rewards of Roshan. Smell come barreling straight down the mid lane. They want to try and approach the high ground.
It's definitely time to approach high ground. Ult's still on cooldown for a slight moment. I think 20 seconds. They have the Ags as well on this Razor, so he can pop out that ulti as soon as this tower goes down to go for the Raxes if he'd like to. And Seb is always sitting behind with that Berserk Potion. So 2 different forms of save now on the side of OG. Massive wraparound. Look at Viking right now.
It was these sort of moves that did hit the hardest in game 1.
They're pinging no-tail. They know his positioning, even though he's shadow on right now.
See what they can do. They come out with the Haunt, look towards him straight away to get the jump in over towards No-Tail. No-Tail, he's going to be able to be pushed over to the side. No-Tail will survive here, but they have brought down Sumail for once. They'll try and surround him, Boom. Coming in with the BKBs, got the Siphons as well, healing himself back up. No-Tail with the self-false promise will live a little longer. The buyback coming out as Aramis. He's able to lead in onto Sumail with the stun. Shad getting beat down hard by Saxa though. Shad has retreat up to the high ground. Sumail's able to turn, take out Aramis. The light strike away from Saxa, catches the 2 of them. 4 dead on Viking. As 3 of them without buyback. OG, they can push on, start to do the damage to the base. They should and can look to close this. Onto the tier 4s. Viking without the buybacks. Very little to be done about this. As they tried their best to hit back whilst they were as far behind as they were, it just didn't come close to mattering whatsoever, as OG able to still finish them off here in the fast timing of 27 minutes. Low kills but high farm and a very high lead here for OG. 32k lead they ended with. As with that, the series is theirs. OG, they'll be taking this best of 3, 2-1.